Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name, I don't know why that's funny. Every time I say my website address or when I start recording, Vinny does something that makes me laugh. So yeah, jasonnewland.com. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. And Vinny definitely wants my attention for some reason. Oh, okay, now I see. It is 23 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. Oh dear. Ever since my medication was increased, I felt so much more tired, which is the reason why I decreased it in the first place. But hey, it's one of those things. So what are we doing today? Oh, it is Trivia Tuesday. Trivia Tuesday. So I'd just like to thank everyone for listening. Those of you that listen, those of you that are listening. I can't thank people that aren't listening, can I? Because they won't hear it. But thank you for listening. And a big thank you to regulars. And if you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe if you fancy it. Right, Vinny's decided to. You know what he did yesterday? He picked up something from the floor when we're out. And that concerns me because I couldn't see what it was because it was a little bit dark. So I went to get it off him. I said, drop it. And he wouldn't drop it. Now, if it was small, he'd have eaten it. But it wasn't. It was sticking out of the side of his mouth. Now, it ended up, I managed to get it out of his mouth. I mean, I did, but, he didn't enjoy the process. He didn't want to give it up. And I think it was a chicken bone. And they're too small for him. If he's going to have a bone, it has to be a big bone. A chicken bone is just too sharp, too little, even for him. I know he's little, but chicken bones are not, I don't think they're particularly good for dogs. Not that he really gets like proper bones normally anyway. But I never give him chicken bones. So I'm like, oh, and I'm holding this thing in my hands. Not only is it, I mean, it might be a bird bone that a cat's caught, I don't know. But I'm kind of got this thing in my hand and it's just, grim. So, that's the whole story, really. I'm not sure if it was worth mentioning, was it? Oh well. So Vinny's contributing his co-host duties as per normal. He's laying down right next to me, chewing on something. Still hasn't eaten his dinner though. So I don't quite know what that's about. It's very noisy though, isn't it? He's found the noisiest thing to chew on. Oh well. What's the latest? Since yesterday, got very, very focused on something yesterday where I started to make some short videos of the previous recording, or maybe it was yesterday's recording, I forget. And it took ages and ages to put it together. I think it would be a lot quicker the more I do it, but just... And I uploaded it to TikTok and to Instagram. So Instagram has had about 105 plays. TikTok has had about 230 plays. And it's like, I think it's 2 minutes, 10 seconds, I think. I also uploaded it on YouTube. I don't know how many it's had on YouTube. I don't know. Content, it's a short. Hasn't had many. 73. And it's just like a little snippet, a very short snippet of the recording. And I thought about doing that a bit more often, just playing with it. Another thing is my websites. I'm getting more views on my website now. Like way more than I've had in years. So like every time I go on there, I've got at least like a few people actively on my website. This is looking at the stats, Google Analytics. So that's good. But the problem is, and it is my own cause, this is me causing the problem, because of me changing over websites so often, using different websites and using different hosts. It means that a lot of the pages are indexed, are not available. And that's why I need to be more consistent and just stick with what I'm doing. For the next year, as I said, podcasts only, no YouTube videos, no Shopify, only one website, jasonnewland.com. One host, no change in hosts. YouTube will only be the podcast episodes uploaded automatically. Vinny, can you make less noise, please? Thanks. So yeah, it will be just a few rules for the year ahead. I know technically, the new year hasn't started yet, but we're getting there. It's now nearly the end of October, so 28th, the 31st, the last day of October is on Friday. So it is my Q&A Friday coming up. I didn't even have to ask for Halloween questions. I just automatically got them. So I didn't even think about Halloween really. But I do look at the questions when they come in. I don't answer them, of course, until Friday. But I have a little browse, a little wander. My eyes wander over the questions, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 5 questions are kind of Halloween related. So yeah, if you've got any questions, it doesn't have to be Halloween related, but any questions at all for this Friday, please go to my Facebook group, Jason Newland's Boring Group, and you can just leave a question underneath the post that I put, which says any questions for this week's Q&A Friday, XX in brackets 31st of October 2025. Yeah, so that's it. And if you want, you could always pause the recording and join my group. So it's Jason Newland's Boring Group on Facebook. Or you could just go to my website, jasonnewland.com, and at the top of the page there's a link. And you can just join and then get comfy again. And let me bore you to sleep with the sounds of Vinny. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do. So I don't know. It's Trivia Tuesday. It's Trivia Tuesday time again. So I'm going to post that in to ChatGPT. This is my little assistant for me. You know, I don't write scripts and doesn't tell me what to say. Not that I would take any notice anyway, but it helps me out a little bit by just thinking up ideas. Maybe should we do Halloween? We do. I should just try and do a little bit more relevant stuff, shouldn't I? Well, I shouldn't have to, but you know, just make it a bit more fun. Kind of be a bit more. I was going to say professional then, but that's never going to be the correct word, is it? By the way, if you run a radio station and you happen to be listening to me, if you got a job as a presenter, that'd be cool. But kind of doing what I do now, this is sort of my best thing, really. Although I could do on playing music if it was like 80s and 90s music, or just playing my favourite music, which would be 80s and 90s. So, years and years and years ago, when I first started doing this, I did think, maybe someone will come across me on YouTube or podcasts and think that I would perhaps be good at something. However strange that sounds, you know, as in obviously not doing television, because I have a face for radio, as they say, but maybe doing a radio show. I'd do it for nothing. I'd do, you know, if I got a chance to be on LBC radio, like one night a week or 2 nights a week for 3 hours each, I'd do it for nothing, as long as they pay for my travel and my accommodation. I'd do it for nothing. Just for the experience, just for the fun of it. Now, don't be contacting me with pretend jobs. So, yeah, I've got a job for you. Come along. Now, just go down here. It's in the basement. Just go down there. Don't worry about the locks. Just go down there. Yeah, it's okay. No, don't take any notice about the guillotine. The microphone's behind the guillotine. What you need to do is just put your head through the guillotine hole, through that hole, and then that's where you're going to be. It's fine. Don't worry about the cameras. Oh, it's a live stream. It's all right. I'm definitely in the Halloween mood, aren't I? But yeah, we're going to be talking about Halloween on Friday. Really? I don't know about you, but I don't want him making that much noise when I'm doing a recording. But at the same time, we like being together. He likes being with me, like in the same room or next to me, whether it's on the settee, in bed, or sitting next to me or lying next to me on the floor. And I kind of got used to him a bit. Yeah. So, Oh, itchy ear. So I'm going to have a look through. So I've got a list of 100 Halloween trivia facts. I'll go through them and then maybe look at some more, but these are trivia stuff. All Hallowed Eve, isn't it? I think it was originally called Halloween. It's quite weird, right? I'm going to be very vague with this story. I did talk about it at the time. It's not a nice story, but I won't go into detail, okay? Because that's not what these recordings are about. So it was Halloween about 5 years ago. Maybe longer, but I think about 5 years ago. Maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, probably 6 years ago. So I'm sitting in here. That's when I had my chair over here. The smaller TV on the wall over there. I don't know why I'm pointing. You can't see where I'm pointing, can you? But the other side of the room. That's before I got my bigger TV. So it's Halloween. I've already been out. Probably took Andre out for a walk. And I was coming back, loads of kids walking into the park with their parents, some without their parents, just like doing Halloween trick or treat. Probably about 6, 7, something like that. It was dark. So I'd say probably 6 or 7. So I'm walking home and I see my friend who was a mutual friend of my friend downstairs. So we're having a chat in the garden outside, the communal garden. We're talking for about half an hour, just chatting really. And then I said, I've got to head up. So I came upstairs, got myself something to eat, and I watched a movie called The Witches. Or The Witch. I think it's just called The Witch. Wow. Which is weird. I'm going to get the correct date. Da-da-da. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Right, let's have a look at the date. When was the date? The date. Really? Come on. Right. Right, so this article is from 2019. So it was 2018. Okay. So what's that? 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 21. 7 years ago. It doesn't seem 7 years ago. So 2018, and it was Halloween night. So I'm watching TV, watching The Witch, which was it was a 2015 movie. I had no idea what it was going to be about. And it was freaky, a very freaky movie. I wonder Wonder what time it was on. It probably on at 10. Probably about 10 o'clock, because I wouldn't put a film like that on before 10, I don't think. So it was on about 10. This is in the days when I used to be up all night long. So I'd go to bed during the day, go to bed about sometimes 7 in the morning, between 4 and 7 in the morning, and I'd get up, I suppose in the afternoon, early afternoon, and then I'd be awake all night long. I'd be making recordings, watching some telly, things like that, working on a website. And yeah, it was a successful film, cost 4 million budget and 40 million box office. So, and it's got, what's his name? Ralph Ineson, who's got one of the most distinguished voices. He's a British actor, very distinguished, very deep northern accent. So, yeah, it's not a pleasant film to watch, to be fair. But I'm watching it, and it lasts, how long does it last? 92 minutes, yeah, hour and a half. There's a lot of activity outside. A lot of kids screaming, and whenever kids get together, for some reason they feel the need to scream, don't they? And there might have even been some fireworks going off. So it was like party time, I guess, for some people. So I'm hearing some weird sounds outside, but I ignored them because and it was weird. It kind of went together with the movie, and it was a bit freaky. I wasn't sure if it was on the TV or if it was outside. So I finished the movie. So it might have been on at 9:45, I don't know, whatever time, with adverts. If it was on ITV or Channel 4, it probably would have lasted nearly 2 hours with the adverts. So I turned the TV off, because I got it on quite loud, so I could hear it. And suddenly, I didn't have Vinny back then, because he would have let me know about the activity. Suddenly, I could just hear all this sound from downstairs, shouting and all kinds of weird things. And then there's the radio, which you can tell it's the police because of the radio thing, like shh and all that stuff. So I look out my kitchen window, my kitchen window, and it's just a flood of lights, police. That's all I could see with police. So I come downstairs, they're banging on my friend's door downstairs. Now, again, I don't want to go into details, but basically my friend downstairs, our mutual friend who I was talking to in the garden, he'd been attacked a few doors up. He'd gone to the park and they'd, really badly. He was asking for Luke, because Luke was his best friend, as he was mine. They thought he was telling the police that Luke was the one that did it. I think that initially, it only lasted for a little while, but so they're banging at his door to get him out, and I don't know if they even put him in handcuffs, I can't remember. And then they brought him back. They brought him to where it was, and then my friend was saying, no, I just want to make sure, I wanted to let him know what happened. Because it wasn't him, I think he was somewhere else, but it definitely wasn't him that did it. But he knew that. It's just like he knew who did it, because he saw them. And it was 3 lads, and they got 70 years. 11 or 13 months later, they got put in for 70 years between them. But it's weird, because that's kind of my memory now of Halloween. It's a strange one. Just, I've never known anything weird to happen on Halloween ever, and that was what happened that night was almost like a horror movie. Well, in fact, you could say even worse than a horror movie, because it was real, and it was... Ugh. But yeah, he's okay. He survived and everything, so good. But it's just weird. I kind of... It doesn't feel like 7 years ago, though. It does feel like a few years ago. But 7 years... Just I don't know, it's weird. So yeah, every Halloween I kind of remember that, because it was such a... It was a huge thing. Obviously more huge for him, but it affected all of us. It affected the whole area, because I don't think anything like that had ever happened before in this area, at least not in like memory. And the weird thing about it, talk about bad luck and then good luck following bad luck, like instantly. So there was nothing good, obviously, about him being attacked. That was awful. That was like the worst thing ever. But he ran and knocked on a door. And so this is a park that I go in and out of every day. I didn't like going out during the dark after that. But he ran across the road, and it's probably from where I live, come out of my building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses down on the right. So you can see how close that is. It's not, and these houses are all connected, I think, or maybe semi-detached, but yeah, they're pretty much connected. So I think 5 houses down. So it would take 10 seconds to walk it, I'd say, maybe less. Depends how fast you walk. The speed I walk, probably about an hour, but yeah, generally most people about 10 seconds. So they attack him, and he runs. He knocks one of them down and he gets away. And he's knocking on the door, and they're literally attacking him while he was knocking on their door, on this neighbour's door. When they eventually opened the door, because they were freaked out, which you would be, you know, the 3 blokes legged it. They left, ran away. He wouldn't even be here. If he hadn't knocked on that door, he wouldn't be here. He's not here, but he wouldn't be around. He knocked on a door of an ex-paramedic. No one knew that an ex-paramedic lived there. I mean, we didn't know. So she saved his life, and what do you want, Vinny? I'm trying to tell a made-up story. What are you doing? You want to know if it's true or not? Yeah, but you haven't met him yet. You're going to meet him soon. Yeah, your uncle, you're going to meet him. You've not met him, have you? No. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. He's wanting my attention, he really is. But yeah, what amazing luck to actually... The first door he managed to knock on is a paramedic, or trained paramedic. I mean, I think she's retired now, and she saved him. And I think her husband's ex-doorman or whatever, so he's medically trained as well. So it's just phenomenal. So Halloween's always going to kind of have that kind of memory for me. I mean, I wasn't involved in any way. I was up here watching TV. But I saw the aftermath. And yeah, it was just weird. Just, yeah, couldn't predict something like that. Absolutely. On Halloween, though, that's the thing. It was almost like I guess like Halloween the movie. That kind of, I mean, one of them did actually have a mask. What? I think they might have had a scream mask, one of those masks on. What do you want, Vinny? You're just staring at me and your tail's wiggling. Why are you staring? Why is your tail wiggling? And why are you staring at me? What is it you want? What is it you want? You want to get onto my lap? He wants to get on my lap, but at the same time, as soon as I move closer, and he jumps off the chair. So, do you want to get on there? Come on then. Do you want to get on my lap? You have a cuddle if you want. I'm always available for a cuddle. That's it. You're now on my lap. Okay. Good boy. It's all right. If you want to get on my lap and have cuddles, daddy cuddles are always available. Always. Always, always, always. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm always here for you for a cuddle. Yeah. Now go away. Get away now. You're a good boy, aren't you? He's got his 2 feet on my one knee. That's how little he is. Or how fat my knees are, I don't know, whichever way you look at it. And this is on the corner of this. What? It's almost like he wants to give me kisses. You want to give Betty kisses, don't you? Yes, you do. You want to get back on? Well, why don't you just... I need to, I don't know, maybe find a way to bring the sofa closer. There might be a way of doing that. I don't quite know how. So then he can be really on my lap the whole time, or at least kind of on my lap, if that makes sense. He wants to be part of this. He wants to be, don't you? You want some physical contact. Is that what you want? Yeah? Is that what you want? Oh. Thing is, if I grab him, he'll jump off. Or if I do catch him, he'll try and get off the chair. So it's like, he wants to get on my lap, but at the same time he doesn't want to get on my lap. It's a weird one. Oops, you can stay there. I'm just gonna get back to the recording, okay? Yes, I am. I'm gonna get back to the recording. Can you just stop talking about horrible things? Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't go into details. I just wanted to it's how something like that could happen on that night. Perhaps I should have told the story in all its glory on the actual night. But it's not really my story to tell. All I know is it's left a memory in my mind because of the night and because of it happening to someone that I'm friends with and still friends with. Oh. So yeah, it's like, what, 15? So, anyway. So, back to the thing, what we got? 100 Halloween trivia facts. Vinny, what do you want? Seriously, what do you want? If you want a cuddle, you can come and get a cuddle. But if you're just going to whine, if all you're going to do is whine, then there's no point, is there? He's doing the same thing. He's like putting one hand on my knee. What is it you want? If it's food, you've got your food down there that you've not eaten yet. I can't give you what I don't have. And if you were so fussy, why are you picking up stuff off the grass when we're in the park that really doesn't deserve, it shouldn't be in anyone's mouth. Eh? You can't be that fussy what you eat. I've seen some of the stuff you eat. And that's fresh food down there. Or at least it was a month ago. I'm going to ignore him now. 100 Halloween trivia facts. So, Halloween originated... I just want to tell you, some of this stuff might be absolute made up. It's the internet. It's ChatGPT, AI. It might not be true. So as I quite often say, don't get into an argument with anyone and quote me, because it might just all be made up. Now, I'm not personally making it up, but I'm reading it and it might be made up, okay? You get me? Swear down. So, Halloween originated from the ancient Celtic festival Samhain, marking the end of harvest season. Okay, doesn't say much more than that. The word Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve. I think I did say that earlier. The night before All Saints' Day. It's just, I think sometimes this country is just a mishmash of lots of different old, outdated beliefs and superstitions, and I guess that's what makes it cute. I don't know. And Samhain was believed to be the time when the veil between the living and the dead was thinnest. Oh God. I had a friend that refused to let her kids do trick or treat because she thought it was the devil's work. Now, she'd become a Christian, and she'd done a lot of really quite, probably not great things in her life previous to that, and or continued as well, actually, but potentially, I don't know. But she decided that she'd been forgiven. God had forgiven her. Which, when someone tells you that, what you got to remember is what they're really saying to you is that they have forgiven themselves. So she'd forgiven herself for her indiscretions, which we all have. I've got plenty. But she wouldn't let her kids go and do what all of their friends were doing. And it did seem a shame, because I don't think the kids dressing up as Spider-Man or Wonder Woman or cowboys and Indians or whatever it was when I was a kid, Darth Vader, vampires, it's not really like a proper demonic celebration. When a kid goes out dressed up, they're not after contacting the living or the dead, or contacting the living. They're not after kind of getting in touch with the other side. They just want treats. They want candy or sweets, chocolates. They're not interested in anything else. They're not interested in any religious connotations connected with it. But, I mean, I guess it is up to the parents, so I can't really argue on that one, but it did seem, just seemed a bit... I think one of my problems I've got, I've been called, like, that I'm doing the work of the devil in the past when I was doing hypnosis, by Christian groups, people. So it never really didn't leave a great smell being called that. You know, when you're just out to try and help people, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're a devil worshipper." Oh. I've never worshipped the devil. I could honestly say that. It's just never come up. I've never woken up and thought, I'm bored. Let's see what's on telly. Oh, there's nothing on telly. What should I do? I suppose I could go for a walk. I could phone a friend, have a chat. I know. I know what we can do. Let's get the Ouija board out. Like, no. I don't, not really my thing, to be honest. Right, what's next? Oh yeah, I used to also get called the snake oil salesman. I didn't even know what that was until I saw Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney's song. Oh, I'd seen it before, but like the say what you want, but don't leave me in my direction. That one. And they're basically all snake oil salesmen. They used to call them, didn't they? And like, all I do is to get through to you. I love you, baby. So you didn't know I was an amazing singer, did you? And I was quite impressed with that. So calling me that, like I'm going around. And the thing is, I never was selling anything. I was just giving it away for free. But then I suppose if it's... I think someone called me a false prophet once and a fake healer, and like, I've never pretended to be a healer. I've never pretended to be anything. I don't even pretend to be professional. I don't even pretend to be human. This is just... I've never just... Listen if you like. If it works, brilliant. If it's useful, great. If it's not, well, move on. Do something else. I'm not doing this trying to help people. 20 years nearly trying to help. I've had people in the past. There's a lady, Angela, and she used to take me. She once took me on a holiday with her on a cruise, and she had an iPod with her. Was it an iPod? Yeah, iPod. So she had an iPod, and she'd listen to me on the cruise, and she took pictures of the cruise, like a deck chair with the iPod on, and the sauna with the iPad in it, and her bed with the iPod. It's just stuff like that. And that was in my early YouTube days. So we're talking probably 2009 to about 2012 kind of time. And the reason I'm saying this is that if I hadn't had the nice comments, I don't think I'd have lasted as long as I have with all the negative stuff I'd had. And that's one of the problems with YouTube. I don't get it. Well, I can still get it on podcasts, but generally any messages I get, comments I get via my Facebook group or via emails or messages directly from my website are going to be nice comments. But on YouTube, although I did get loads of nice comments, hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, over the years, but I also got a lot of real horrible stuff. stuff that you wouldn't say to someone's face. That kind of stuff, you know, like brave on a keyboard when you're in another country, maybe. But and I remember once. Oh yeah, there's a couple of occasions really made me laugh. I had this person that was sent me the most vile comment on my video, like really horrible. And I went on to their to their YouTube channel, and it was just a little kid, like probably 10-year-old kid, boy. And okay. It was just being a troller. He was just probably forgotten exactly what he wrote as soon as he wrote it. And then I had another YouTube person. I think this is about 2012. And she sent me a message, the comment on my video saying, your videos are so unprofessional, with background sound and you should really do put a bit more work into your video. I thought, okay. I mean, it's fair enough. My videos were never very professional. Just, yeah, I'll hold my fingers up to that one, or anything else that will stand up. And I thought, okay, let's go and visit her YouTube channel and see how to do it professionally. Let's see how it's supposed to be done. So she was actually teaching meditation. So I thought, okay, so she's coming from the same ballpark as me, in a sense. Relaxation, calmness, slowing down your mind, relaxing your mind and your body, all that stuff. So she's sitting there on a mat doing a meditation, just like, and she's got this cat crawling all over her, going meow, meow, like throughout the whole video. I just couldn't stop laughing. And I'm thinking, okay, I know I've got like a little dog, Vinny, and I used to have Andre making loads of noise sometimes. But at least I'm not posting messages on other people's podcasts saying, it's really annoying you've got that dog in the background. You know, it's like, well, besides Vinny is the star of the show, really, as Andre was the star of the show when I had him. Then I had a little period when I was like solely in charge for a little while, about a year and a half. So, yeah, YouTube's a weird one like that. And it's really easy to say, well, just don't take it personally. It's just people being keyboard warriors, or you know, they don't know who you are. They might not have even watched the video. They're just posting stuff. It's easy to say that. Not so easy to do, in my experience. Especially when it comes down to making comments about how I look, my physical appearance and stuff like that. And the amount of people who were telling me that they just couldn't concentrate on the relaxation because I was too handsome. And I couldn't believe the amount of times I saw the word moist was like typed in. I was like, this is wrong. It's not what I'm on here for. I'm trying to help people to relax their whole body, not just parts. So yeah, that's kind of part of the reason why I stopped doing videos, because I don't want to be thought of as just an object. I'm not just a piece of meat, you know. I'm not just a body. I'm a person, and I'm just out to help people, not just make people I'm not, I didn't go onto YouTube just to turn people on. I was genuinely trying to help. That's what it is. Oh dear. Pumpkins, number 4, weren't always used for lanterns. People in Ireland originally carved turnips. So which country was first? Which country had used lanterns, like on Halloween? I don't even know how old Halloween is. The first jack-o'-lanterns, I didn't know they were called that, were meant to ward off evil spirits. But then, yeah, if you go back far enough, there was a lot of superstition, wasn't there? Which put medical science and, back centuries, decades, because of that superstition. And then when the society was able to kind of break away from it partially, then they could start finding stuff that worked to help people. Although some of the superstitious stuff does come together with nature, though, doesn't it? So things like if you find some of the original people that lived on the planet, some of the original tribes, like maybe the Aboriginals or the Maoris, I suppose every country's kind of got them, haven't they? America's got the indigenous, so I'm probably one of the kind of indigenous here, kind of partly. And my ancestors were very likely to have been slaves to the Romans. So yeah, because we were basically invaded continuously, this country. But I'm also 48% Irish. So, I'm not sure which side. I know it's my nan's side, my dad's side, but I think I must also have some on my mum's side as well. Because technically, my dad would only be 50% Irish, because both his grandparents were Irish, but only one of his parents was Irish. And his dad was English, wasn't Irish, so he would generally only be 50%. But I'm 48%, which means I must have had some on both sides, because technically, I'd be like 25% Irish. Because I'm, kind of, I know it doesn't work out exactly like that. Trick-or-treating likely evolved from medieval souling, when the poor would beg for food in exchange for prayers. This is something that happens in Buddhist countries. It's not trick-or-treating, it's not called that, but the idea that people, the monks, not all the monks, but some of the Buddhist monks will go out, beg for food. It's not really begging so much, because everyone kind of knows what's going to happen, but I saw it with my own eyes, and what would happen is the monk would do prayers for the people that had prepared food for the monk, and the monk would take like loads of food back to the monastery. So the thing is, with prayers, that's more, I think, Tibetan Buddhism, and see, in Thailand, and I think possibly in a few countries around that area, with a Buddhist country, they're very similar to a Christian country. So even people that don't go to church in this country. They don't. There's someone that's born here. They're gonna, or expect. I don't know how it is now, but sort of for me, for example, when I was at school, there was Christian songs and prayers every day at school, just standard stuff, and you were taught all about the Bible, and it's just the way it was back then, for most people. So that stuff's kind of inherent, almost interlocked in our society. The idea that we would pray for something, even if you don't go to church, you might sort of define yourself praying or believing in heaven and stuff like, that kind of stuff, without any kind of real religious belief system, like outside of what's ingrained. And the Buddhists in places like Thailand, the general population seem to have the same kind of thing going on. But it seems to be, some of them do go to the temple, some of them do celebrate, different holidays, religious holidays. But there's a few little things they do. So instead of saying my God, they say my Buddha. Oh Buddha, instead of oh God. But the difference is, when you say oh God here in a Christian country, that's blaspheming. But you say oh Buddha, oh my Buddha, it's not blaspheming. It's almost changes the way it's said. I'm not quite sure why, but it seems to. And it's almost like another way of saying, oh goodness gracious me, oh my Buddha. Almost kind of like this, I don't know. So the way that Thailand seem to, and I think it is a little bit Tibetan as well, that kind of thing, is they believe in heaven, the hell realms, the heaven realms, and it's almost like Buddha's a god. Buddha was never supposed to be a god. It was that wasn't what it was about. So it's almost like praying. Praying is not a Buddhist thing. Well, it is, but it wasn't. That's not what the Buddha taught people. He didn't teach people to pray. It was about meditation. It was about focus, mindfulness. It was about opening yourself up and getting rid of wants, getting rid of anger, getting rid of all these different things that hold us back in order to gain freedom from rebirth. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that, but just my little memory of it. I've not been actively involved in some time, although I am thinking about going back. It might do me some good. I don't know why I even mentioned that. Oh yes, some of the things is they'd have a drink. So before having a drink, they'd pour some out on the street. And it was an offering. So that's kind of a Buddhist thing, is to offer some food, some water to the Buddha. So a portion of what you have, you offer it to the Buddha. So even though they're drinking alcohol, which is not really a Buddhist thing to do, because it's the very strict, is like no intoxicants, which would also probably include coffee and tea. But they kind of move around it, and so they're still doing those practices that are kind of inbuilt, which I think is quite nice actually. So there's a natural kindness seems to be there, a gentleness that comes with Buddhism. Not all the time, obviously, and not everyone, but there does seem to be a, yes, it's interesting to go to a country that has a different religion and that's based their entire democracy or their politics and the way everything is through Buddhism, as opposed to through how we did, because all of our stuff came through kind of Christianity, like with the laws and all that stuff, and then yeah, I don't know, it's complicated, isn't it? But what am I talking about? Black cats became associated with witches in the Middle Ages. Yeah, okay. Familiars, aren't they? Cats. The witch is familiar. The thing is, I didn't realise what familiar means. I knew what it meant in the English language. Familiar is like something. I was very familiar to this. Your hat is very familiar to my underpants. But after watching Narcos, I realised that the word familiar is actually talking about their family. A familiar is family. In some countries, black cats are good luck, not bad. I'm going to go even further. In all countries, black cats mean one thing. The cat's black, or that's it. Oh, or maybe you can't see it at night. Unless it opens its eyes. Cat's eyes. The largest pumpkin ever recorded weighed over 2,700 pounds. Cool, I don't know what that is. That's quite big, isn't it? Candy corn was invented in 1880s. What's that got to do with Halloween? Oh. The candy corn shape was originally inspired by chicken feed. I suppose candy corn, is it sweet? Is that where candy comes from? Because we don't have candy in the UK. We have chocolate, we have sweets. We don't have candy. We don't call it candy. We still, I say we, but some people would still use that expression, oh, it's like taking candy from a baby, which always made me think it was a bit weird thing to say. Who would take a baby's chocolate away or their lollipop? Unless it's been unwrapped, or if it's still wrapped, I mean, then you could take it, but we don't want it once it's been slobbering all over it, yeah. But if it's been untouched, yeah, it's free sweets. Americans spend over 10 billion on Halloween each year. Much bigger in America, Halloween is. I'm going to say I'm generalising. But in this country where I live, it's half-baked now. I don't think it's not even as popular as it used to be when I was a kid. Because it used to be everyone went out. It's like there'd be adults who'd have, Halloween parties. Maybe not on the actual night, perhaps at the weekend. One of my happiest Halloween memories was I was in the nightclub, in the comedy club, and a waitress I liked was dressed as a vampire, but she was like from the Hammer House of horror movies, and she was dressed as like a bartender or whatever, and yeah, I just remember that. It was lovely. She was just really, really nice the way she was. It was really impressive, her costume, I mean. That's what I mean. I'm sure I've got this memory of dressing up as a vampire. because I'm sure that I bought some fake blood and let it dribble down my chin or my cheeks, out the sides of my mouth. And I also remember it was quite hard to remove. Then I realised it was red ink. But I don't know. I'd have to ask someone who was around back then, and there isn't anyone to ask. Or I literally don't have anyone to ask what happened when I was a kid. I have to just guess or try and remember. No one to ask. The least popular... Oh, okay. The most popular Halloween candy is usually Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Okay, I have had them. Not really, I mean, peanut butter. I think I had one before I realised it was peanut butter, and I thought it was yummy, and then when I realised it was peanut butter, I was disgusted with myself. I had to give myself a proper telling off. The least popular, I put myself on the naughty step. The least popular is often candy corn, but it still sells millions of bags. So the least popular sells millions of bags. Candy corn, I still don't know what it is. Is it like popcorn? Is candy corn popcorn? Candy corn. Candy corn. It's not at all like popcorn. That's very strange. Well, we don't... What's candy corn? What's it called? Okay. Right. Really? Sure. I don't care now. So I'm trying to find it, but every time I do it, the page is way too high. Never mind. Candy corn. We don't have it here as far as I know. Orange and black became Halloween colours because they represent harvest and darkness. Okay. I mean, the orange I thought was because of the pumpkin, and the black I just figured because it was night time, and yeah. Or they were trying to sell the Cadbury's orange chocolates, you know, with a dark chocolate, but they just weren't popular, so they thought, oh, let's try and fit them in with Halloween. I've just come up with a good idea there. Halloween chocolate oranges, dark chocolate with an orange, sell them just at Halloween. The way they sell Cadbury's cream eggs sell at Easter, or the lead up to Easter. So why not have those orange cream eggs with dark chocolate just for Halloween? That's a multi-100-pound suggestion there. So if you work for, is it Cadbury's Orange? If you work for whoever produces Cadbury's oranges, and you decide to go with that idea, I'd quite like to have a percentage of it, please. Bearing in mind this is recorded and it will be public. Everyone's going to hear this recording, so it's on public record. So please, I just need a couple of million. That's all. A couple of mil. That's all I need. Owls were once thought to be witches in disguise. It is interesting, is it not, that, I mean, the things that people used to believe, it makes me wonder that in the future, like 100 years, 200 years, we're going to look back on now and think, wow, I can't believe people used to think that. Not about owls, but about how we are now. People used to think, but we can't believe people. Really? Why did spending all day looking at a screen? And they thought that was a good idea? Huh? So yeah, it's bobbing for apples dates back to ancient Roman harvest festivals. I've never. Oh, I was going to say I've never seen that on Halloween, but I did. I saw outside the front of a house last year. There was a big bucket with apples. But I have seen bobbing for apples in the summer, like summer festivals and summer fairs and stuff like that, which, no thanks. I'd do it if I was the very first person to have a go. But once someone else's face has been in that water, see ya. In Scotland, young people would burn nuts to see if their relationship would last. It depends how long you burn your nuts for. You know, I mean, there's going to come a time when it's like beyond repair, isn't it? So it depends what the other person wants out of the relationship, whether they want kids or not. Full moons on Halloween are rare. The next one won't happen until 2039. Oh. That was the most pointless fact so far. It would be a good day to have a Halloween though, wouldn't it? Sort of have it in October, but instead of like a specific date, only have it on a full moon in October. So whatever full moon there is, have it on that date. Yeah, let's change things up. The famous Monster Mash song was released in 1962. Really? But I'm sure that was #1 in the 90s. The Monster Mash, ooh, ooh. The Monster Mash, ooh, ooh. Bram Stoker's Dracula was inspired by the real-life Vlad the Impaler. Yes, that's true. I studied vampires when I was about 11, 12. Like really studied. I was about 11 actually. I really studied all that kind of stuff. So at that time in my life, I knew a lot about werewolves, witches, vampires, the occult. And what I would do on a Saturday afternoon, I would go to the local library, go upstairs and sit on one of those. There's a big long table, sit on one of the tables, and I'd get the encyclopedias out and I would write down what I found in the encyclopedias about vampires and such and all that stuff. I was absolutely obsessed with it for a while. Frankenstein was written by Mary Shelley when she was only 18 years old. Well, good on her. Well, there was no TV at that time, was there? I mean, what else was there to do? If there's no TV, we'd all be writing books, wouldn't we? Or maybe not. The first horror film was made in 1896. La Mémoire du Diable. So I guess that must be Chinese. I didn't know there were films in 1896. Michael Myers' mask in Halloween 1978 was a painted Captain Kirk mask. Are you serious? A painted Captain Kirk mask? I thought it was supposed to be like a hockey mask or something. Oh, that's funny. At least they didn't just like use the mask and not paint it, because that would have been a bit disrespectful towards Captain Kirk, wouldn't it? possibly a copyright issue. Hocus Pocus was originally released in July 1993, not October. I hadn't. If you'd have said to me, "Do you remember Hocus Pocus?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I think so." Do you remember when it was released? I'd probably say either late 80s or 90s, early 90s. Yeah, do you remember what month? No. I wouldn't assume it'd be in October. It's what's her name, isn't it? Who, the wind beneath my wings. Is it her that's in that? One of my favourite songs of all time. It's just an amazing song. I, the wind beneath my wings. Pumpkin Spice. I don't remember Pumpkin Spice. I thought her name was Ginger. Contains no pumpkin. It's just the spices used in pumpkin pie. Okay. That was probably the most useless information. Bats are Halloween symbols because they're active at night and linked to folklore. Did you know that bats are not blind? Did you know that? It's true. I didn't even know that until the other day. I thought bats were blind and they use sonar to find a way around. They've got eyesight. It's fine. I don't think they can see very well in the dark though, which is weird because they live in the dark. But they've got eyesight. They've got eyes that work. That's my own little bit of fact there. My own little bit of trivia. It's good to add my own little bits now and then. We don't want to see your little bits. All right, blimey. Witches' hats may have originated from old beer brewing headgear. Well, we can say anything and add the words may have originated and then add anything else. Can you? The cauldron may have originated from an old tramp's bath. We just basically do that for any sentence. They're just making it up as they go along. In the 1800s, turnip lanterns were carved with scary faces to frighten away spirits. Turnip lanterns. So that makes sense why the Irish would use turnips instead of pumpkins. Maybe pumpkins were the first things to be used, or turnips first. Plus, they're kind of the right shape, aren't they? Because they're like candle shape. In the 1800s... No, okay, I've already done it. The world's largest Halloween parade happens in New York City. I believe that. I also imagine, doesn't Mexico, they're quite big on superstition, and they have an actual festival, don't they? Is it Day of the Dead or something? I thought that might coincide with Halloween. The Salem, Massachusetts, is one of the most visited Halloween towns in the world. And you got Harry Houdini, the magician, passed away Halloween 1926. That's a bit of a random fact, isn't it? And the Mexican Dia de los... Oh, Day of the Dead, see? I remember that one. Overlaps with Halloween time. And the Guinness World Record for most lit pumpkins is over 30,000. That's a lot, isn't it? Vampires were once blamed for tuberculosis outbreaks. Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because someone has to be blamed. Humans, by nature, have to blame someone. Doesn't matter what it is, somebody has to be blamed. So why not blame vampires? Kind of lets the humans off, doesn't it? Trick or treat, smell my feet was first recorded in 1940s. Now I've never heard that saying before. Trick or treat, smell my feet. Stop or start, smell my fart. I don't know. I mean, what? Glow in the dark decorations. That's me being a lollipop lady. Glow in the dark decorations became popular in the 1970s. Ooh, okay. Well, that's a bit before my time. I mean, I was alive, but yeah. Haunted houses as attractions began during the Great Depression. What do they want to cheer themselves up? Let's go and visit some haunted houses. Can't be better than this. The Haunted Mansion at Disneyland opened in 1969. The colour purple has recently joined orange and black as a Halloween hue. Pumpkin flavoured everything became trendy in the early 2000s. So I don't believe I've ever had pumpkin in anything, but I've got this mild remembrance of having pumpkin pie. I don't know. I'm pretty certain, because I know it's a thing. And it's not just Halloween. Pumpkin pie is a real thing, I think, in America. I see them in those diners in the movies. I have some pumpkin pie, please, love. Okay, darling. Would you like some pancakes on top of that? No. Okay, darling. I don't know, I'm trying to think of a dialogue, but I'd like to go into one of those diners. It's a long way to travel just to get a burger, but it'd be nice just to see what it's like, really. Although I couldn't sit at the kind of at the counter. The idea of sitting next to someone I don't know on a stool and eating with someone either side of me, ugh, that doesn't sound nice. The average child consumed around 7,000 calories of candy on Halloween night. So, okay, in America, so it's chocolate or sweets in the UK, and I don't know what it's called in other countries. Let me know. The average, 7,000 calories. That's quite a lot, isn't it? In Canada, Halloween is almost as big as Christmas for decorations. But I didn't know that. I mean, the good thing about Christmas, as far as the decorations go, is at least after Christmas, the decorations don't become defunct, devoid of purpose, no longer necessary, in fact, almost unnecessary, needing to be taken down. But Halloween's one night, or one day, let's say, and then the next day, everything needs to kind of go away. You can't. I know some people leave it out for maybe a few days or weeks, but generally it's a one-night thing. Christmas is, if you're going to be really specific, I mean, people start putting their Christmas stuff up sometimes November time, maybe December, and then I think there's the 12 days after Christmas, I think. So do they have to be down by the New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or something. I don't know. Not have to be, but superstitious people. It was something like 12 days after Christmas. I don't put decorations up, so it doesn't really affect me. Some dogs have their own Halloween costume contests. Well, good for them. But how do they organise it? How do they get into their costumes? I mean, I've been trying to teach Vinny, he can't even juggle yet. The most popular pet costumes are pumpkins and hot dogs. Oh, I need to get... Oh, wow. Get him dressed as a hot dog. That'd be brilliant. Honestly, that'd be so good. Oh, please. Oh. So, what's next? Charlie Brown's It's the Great Pumpkin first aired in 1966. And we've got the world's longest haunted house is in Ohio. Okay, so this is longest. What, it's been haunted the longest time, or it's actually the longest? I actually did work, when I was a security guard in 97, I guarded the ground around the longest hospital in Europe, and it was a mental, well, I think it was it used to be called an asylum. I know they changed the names, but I think at the time it was like a mental hospital, they called it. Again, it's got different names now, but it was the longest one ever in the whole of Europe, and it was massive. I never went inside, but the security guards that went inside there, they didn't like it because they said it was haunted. In Ireland, people traditionally ate bamrack. Also, they used to get tired walking. A fruitcake with Lucky Charms inside. Okay, barmbrack. Barmbrack. Okay. Bit of fruitcake. I like fruitcake. Spiders are considered good luck on Halloween night. Okay. I'm just going to say okay because I don't think anyone would agree with that. Witch trials were common in Europe long before Salem. Ooh. Pumpkin carving competitions are now global events. I've never carved a pumpkin. I've never really carved anything. I know that's wrong. I once carved a little, what was it called? A little canoe made of balsa wood when I was in junior school. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Creepy clowns became a Halloween trend after 2016. I wonder if that's true, because the clown, It, was a TV show from the 80s, or like two-part movie thing from Stephen King in the 80s, and it starred the bloke from Little House on the Prairie. Surely that creepy clown would have been around during Halloween. Maybe not. Ghost costumes were originally made from old bed sheets. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because isn't that what ghosts look like? Bonfires were lit during Samhain to guide lost spirits. Jack-o'-lanterns are named after a man called Stinky Jack. No, Stingy Jack. Not Stinky. Stingy Jack. I have no idea what that means. Stinky Jack makes more sense. The fear of Halloween is called Samhainophobia. Also, apparently, horror movie marathons are now a Halloween tradition worldwide. Trick or treat wasn't a common phrase until the 1930s. And the most popular Halloween costume changes every year. Oh, okay. Wonder what the most popular costume is going to be this year. I can think of one that might be quite popular. Witches often symbolise independence and feminine power. I didn't know this. The Addams Family first appeared as cartoons in the New Yorker in 1938. Because the TV show was in the 60s, wasn't it? I like that. I used to like watching that. The Addams Family and the Munsters. Equally, loved them both. They were just both as quirky as each other. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure if I could even choose between the two of them. But they're very kind of similar. They're both, very similar kind of TV shows. But I like them. I still do like them. I watch. They're not really on TV much, but if they do come on, I like to watch the old shows. Pumpkins grow on every continent except Antarctica. So what do they do at Halloween? Oh. The largest pumpkin pie ever. Largest pumpkin pie ever made weighed over 3,600 pounds. How? Dracula has appeared in more films than any other character. Right. Okay. Let's see if we can. I wonder if that's true. I'm trying to think of a character that's been in more films, that's been portrayed more times. I mean, James Bond straight away has been portrayed 30 odd times. Who else? What other movies? Sherlock Holmes. How many times has Sherlock Holmes been portrayed in movies? Got to be quite a few, isn't it? Who else? I mean, Tarzan, but probably not so recently. I don't know. I'm getting a feeling that maybe there might be some competition for Dracula. In early America, Halloween was mostly for pranks. I thought it was now. Fortune-telling games were common at Halloween parties, and apple peels were once used to reveal a future spouse's initials. Wow, can you imagine that? You imagine meeting the person of your dreams and finding out that their initials were different to the ones that your fortune teller told you that got from apple peels at a Halloween party. I instantly fell in love with you, but you can't because you've got different initials in your name. Sorry, bye. Bob for apples long enough and you might actually get wet. What? That's a weird one. Bob for apples long enough and you might actually get wet. It's a full contact sport. Of course you're going to get wet if you bob for apples. How can you not get wet? And with a nose my size, I only have to look down at the bowl and the end of my nose gets wet. Blimey. Glow sticks were originally military interventions or inventions. Oh. I've seen them actually used in the army. They're quite good. Pumpkin seeds are edible and packed with nutrients. And mummies were first unwrapped in public as entertainment in the 1800s. Oh. The word witch comes from the Old English wick, meaning wise woman. Men can be witches too. Fake spider webs are usually made from cotton or polyester. Creepy soundtracks like Thunder and Screams became popular in the 1950s. Although I do like Thunder, never been a fan of Screams. Candy apples were invented accidentally in 1908. We don't call them candy apples, we call them toffee apples here. Oh, phenomenal. Toffee apples. Oh, I've not had one probably since I was a kid. And I probably wouldn't, I wouldn't tempt it with my teeth now, but oh, that was so nice. And that mixture of toffee and apple was lovely. But as long as there was toffee left, I wouldn't eat the apple on its own. But as long as there was some toffee to go with it, oh, beautiful. I don't remember it being connected to Halloween though. We used to have those at the summer festival. Skeleton decorations come from ancient celebrations of ancestors. Okay, Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas is now a Hollywood icon. And pumpkin patches attract millions of visitors every year. Pumpkin patches? I don't even know what that is. What's a pumpkin patch? Is it like where pumpkin patch dolls live? I don't know. Ghosting, which means leaving candy secretly at someone's door, started as a friendly prank. Now, that's not what ghosting means anymore, is it? Halloween parties became mainstream in the 1920s. Masks were worn to hide from ghosts and mischievous spirits. Fake blood in movies was originally made from chocolate syrup. Chocolate syrup. But then if it's a black and white movie, they couldn't tell it was what colour it was, could they, probably? The Exorcist was the first horror movie film ever nominated for an Oscar. Oh, I didn't know that. Carving pumpkins is now a competitive art form. I remember watching The Exorcist for the first time and laughing. I'm not sure if I was supposed to. The phrase trick or treat was first printed in a Canadian newspaper. Well, that's a bit specific. Really? They looked through every single newspaper in the entire world's history and say, nope, it was definitely in a Canadian newspaper. I want to see the fact check for that particular trivia. Haunted hayrides combine farming and frights, a unique American idea. Black candles are symbolic of protection, not evil. Yep, true. I know a little bit, yeah, I remember that. Glow-in-the-dark face paint became popular in the 1980s. I'll be honest, no matter what I put on my face, it was never popular. Halloween 1978 was made on a budget of just $325,000. $325,000 was quite a lot of money in 1978. It's not a small amount of money. I mean, 1978, if we look at Do 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 do. They do stuff like that. Okay, maybe it was. How was Star Wars? No, Star Wars. I want to look Star Wars up. Star Wars, George Lucas. Because I'm thinking. He looks angry there. I'm a bit scared. So George Lucas, filmography, 1978, 1977 Star Wars. So if I remember rightly, 11 million budget. That was a lot of money. I thought it was less than that. Oh well. My point's gone now. I guess what I'm saying is $325,000 was quite a lot in 1978. It's just saying on a budget of just. Even Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't think she was a big star then, was she? I don't know if she'd had any other big parts other than, than Halloween. I thought that was her first big, starring role. I might be wrong. Candy sales on Halloween rival Valentine's Day. Well, in this country, we don't give candy on Valentine's Day. People generally give chocolates or flowers. That seems to be the kind of norm. Maybe go out for a meal. Yeah. It depends what stage of your relationship you're in. I mean, depends if you want romance or might instead of flowers and chocolates and a meal, might give them a new air fryer. I don't know. It depends where you are. Tootsie Rolls were the first individually wrapped penny candy. Cool. Jack-o'-lantern faces were once used to represent family spirits. Zombies come from Haitian folklore. And Thriller by Michael Jackson is the most played Halloween song ever. It's the only Halloween kind of song that I can think of, really. Glow pumpkins made of plastic became trendy in the 1990s. Some birds migrate on Halloween night, coinciding with the Samhain's symbolism of transition. They're probably just looking down at all the humans thinking, we're out of here. And finally, sleeping through Halloween is perfectly acceptable and probably very relaxing. Oh, it's added its own little bit there for the audience. Oh, bless ChatGPT. Bless Vinny for wanting my attention because he wants to go out. So that is the end of this Trivia Tuesday. I hope it's been everything you ever wished for. Halloween edition. So I will be back tomorrow with Whisper Wednesday. Thank you for listening, and remember to be kind to yourself because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. And Vinny says goodbye as well with his little flappy ears. Lots of love. Bye.